I've been in the real estate business for 25 years. And there's something that holds true today as it held before. The good old added question, which is, do I use debt or do I use equity? Do I use my own money, which I have control of, or do I use somebody else's money that has hooks and things attached to it? Which works and how does it work? You have multiple people out there selling courses. They say, go out, use other people's money, do those things. And you can use other people's money. But the question is what type of money? And when is it going to be called or what it is? I have seen personally good assets go back to lenders because of the way in which lenders conduct themselves. It's important you recognize that if you're dealing with debt and equity, you understand what they are and what they're used for. It is an excellent position to be in when you have a cash flow producing asset to use debt. But if you're using equity, if you're using debt when you're speculating, maybe when you're buying a fix and flip or you're buying a big building, whatever it is, if you're using debt, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When are you going to have problems and to what extent is it? I've produced great assets, done everything I'm supposed to do. 12 months later, the loan is due. We're not done with the asset. And instead of the lender saying, hey, we'll extend you for another 6 months, they just don't extend it. And then it starts down a road of where they say you're in default, but you're not in default. Listen, default is when they say it is. Whether you like that or not, you like how that outcome is. They control everything, they being the people that are doing the debt. And the only way we're going to change society and learn to invest in one another is to change the dynamics of what we're doing. And some basic things that you can do, you can set up your own investment companies so that you're no longer beholden to the debt processors. And they're everywhere. Yeah, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. It all sounds good when it's happening. And there are times in which it just makes sense because that's your no other option. But if you have an opportunity to make a difference, invest in others. Don't create a debt position in which later on you're the master of their domain, in which you get to choose when it is due or when it's not due. There are so many ways to make your real estate business successful if you will just follow some basic principles, which is use your own equity or other people's equity when they invest in you. When you're speculating, use debt when you know that you have a cash flow producing asset, meaning your ratios are right, and that when you have cash flow coming in, you can offset their debt payment. But anything before that, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. They can raise interest rates on you and you have no clue and you have no way to get out of it. They just do that on a whim. They don't have to consult you for those kind of things to happen. Every 7 years, they mess with our interest rates. Every 4 years, they mess with the interest rates. That destroys demand and stops you from selling the very asset that you're speculating on. Why do you think that every builder, it's actually 95%. Why do you think 95% of all builders, developers go out of business? They go out of business because they mess with the interest rates, or they create massive inflation or whatever. There is a better way. There's a better way to structure your deals so that you're not beholden to a bunch of others. You can still speculate, but don't speculate with lenders' money. Speculate with your own and other people's money that want to be your partner, that want to invest in you. They want to take the time to say, I believe in you. And what your plan is let's see how that is real good speculation. And that makes a much better outcome than just be beholden to some lender who makes a decision. I'm not going to extend your terms. And when they do that, you either find yourself in bankruptcy, or you just, all that time and all that little bit of effort, that $40,000 or $50,000 that you put into it, just goes bye-bye. Get off the debt train.